Okay. So today we will be talking about utilities. So utilities is nothing but what does a utility mean? It is JCL internal programs, right? Or inbuilt programs. Okay. So the first thing that we have seen is IEFBR 14. So what is the first utility we have learned? Yesterday we have seen one utility, right? What is that? What is this? You're seeing, I think you're seeing the name here, right?
So
IEBR 14, sir.
See, this names, why I'm asking again and again is because you have to be habituated for these words. So when I'm asking, when they're asking you an interview, you should not say like IEF B R or BC 14. So it should be like IFBR 14. It should be that flow. Understanding? You have to say the utility name in a way that it is IFBR 14. It should not be IBFIC. It's not like that. Okay. What is the utility for creating a file? What is that? IF.
IEBR 14.
Yes. So you're observing that delayness, right? If you're
Yes,
not
sir.
saying this word, you are able to understand that that's the reason. I know that you are seeing this word. I know this word is in front of you, but still why I am asking you is you have to speak this word. It is IFBR 14. Okay.
Okay.
IEFBR 14 is the utility we use for what is the purpose of this? I told you yesterday what this can do, what IEFBR 14 can do.
Creating new file.
It can create a file and
Delete it.
it can
Delete it.
delete a file. It can create a file and it can delete a file. We have actually seen how to create a file. Let's go to the same program which we have seen yesterday. So if you see this job one, right? You see this job one, what I have told the disposition, let's say new catalog delete. That means if the file is already existing, so if the step is successful, you want to keep this. If the step is fail, you want to delete it. So is this file created yesterday or not? We have created this file, right? Is this file existing now or not?
Yes, sir.
Existing.
This is there. So what will happen if I submit the same job now? If I am submitting the same job and I'm saying to create this file again, what will happen?
Already existing.
So I'm just submitting this, submitted, and you are seeing some message here. And most of you, when you are facing any issue in the program or something, you will just send me this line. Sir, I'm getting error like this. Just by seeing this line, nobody will understand what is happening because this is the common message for every failure. Okay, if you see this, I have submitted one program, but I'm getting like this. This is just JCL error. You to understand what is the issue, where you have to go, where you can see the error
Spring.
in spool, right? So
Yes.
if you are sending that one line alone, I will not be able to understand what is the issue. Okay, so you will, so it is failed. So what you have to do before sending me, you have to go to spool. You have to open this job and go to any of this. Like you have to check one by one, where is the issue, where is the, so let's go to here, just message log. So here it is saying, so it is just saying job failed, JCL error, and I am not having any other information. So MATSA, last access, started, proc step flash. So basically there is no information, just it is saying job failed. Okay, I'm going back and I'm now opening just JCL where I'm just checking whether any error is there. So here, if I see it is just my JCL. So in your JCL, what will happen is it will in your just JCL, it is always your JCL which you have submitted. The same JCL will be there inside this just JCL. So mostly you will not find any error inside this. So any JCL error mostly here or here it will be there. Okay, now in the first one we did not get anything. So in second one it is just a JCL. Whatever you have submitted, the same JCL will be here. Okay, whatever you have submitted, the same JCL will be here. Now let's go back, and what is left? JC message. This is the one we have left, right? So just message log, just JCL and JC message. So I'm going into this one now. Open. So here what it is saying, duplicate name on direct access volume, duplicate dataset name, and dataset name is this. You're understanding? Duplicate dataset name on volume this for dataset this. What it is saying? It is already existing, right? Duplicate means what? It is already there, correct?
Yes, sir.
So when you are sending, you have to send me this screenshot, not the single line which you are seeing. If you are not able to understand, at least you have to send me this one and this one. So at least I will be able to understand what is happening. Got it? So now it is saying this. So what I have to do, I'm just creating IEFBR 14.1 or A. Okay. So now what I'll do, instead of new catalog delete, I will give new delete, delete. So what I'm saying, if the step is successful also, you want to delete this. And if the step is fail also, you want to, and finally what will happen? It will be created and deleted. By the end of this job, it will be deleted. Let's see what will happen. So max is 0, right? Max is 0, but let's see whether this file is there or not. 14A. It is saying no dataset names found, right? What does it mean? You are saying if the step is successful, also delete, fail also delete. That means finally it will actually what is happening? This file is getting created. After it is getting created, so if the step is successful, again JCL will take the action to delete it. So that's the reason what we do, we will give it as catalog, new catalog delete. So that means if you run now, see now the file is existing, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we know how to create a file. For example, how to delete a file. So let's see that. Now we have this file that is 14 already existing, right? So we already understood if I'm giving delete, if success also delete, failure also delete, that means finally you delete it. Whatever it is, whatever is the case, I don't care. Finally, what I need to delete this file. But if I'm giving new delete, will it work? When I am giving 14A, it was working, right? You remember that when I'm giving 14A here and new delete, it ran successfully, but the file was created and deleted first time, correct? So now this 14 is already existing. This 14, so I will give a 1 star here. So 2 files we can. 14 is there, 14A. So now I want to delete this 14 file. Let's see what will happen. New delete I have given. Let me just submit it. Somewhere here. Go back. Okay. So now if you see what it came, JCL error, right? I'll show you. It did. I'm going F11. See, F11, F11. See here it is JCL error. So that means my job did not run successfully. Why it did not run is, now you have to understand the case. What is new? What is disposition X means? X is talking about whether it is a new file or existing file. New means what? It is only for new file. So R14 is existing one or new one?
Existing, sir.
Existing one. So here I will use, instead of new, I will use old. So now this is existing one. So if it is what it is thinking, new means what it is thinking, okay, I have to create this file and delete when the job is completed. But to create that file, this file is already existing. So you cannot first create the file which is already existing. So if you want to delete an existing file, then you have to use old here. Old, delete, delete. Submit. See, now maxis is 0. Now let us see. I will give enter. See, only 14A is there. Where is 14? 14 got deleted because you have given delete, delete. That means if the step is success, also delete, fail, also delete. So when you will use this delete case is basically, so let's see this case. You have a step 1. So in your step 1, for example, you have one program that is, let's say disp1 is the program you are executing. And inside this, you need a file dd01. Let's say, so, okay, for example, we dd01 dd dsn equal to some file matesa dot test dot file 1 comma, we will have all this disp equal to new catalog delete comma, you will have space parameters, you will have dcb, and then you will have sysprint, all these things, and you will have sysout sysin dd star. Don't worry, I'll explain. I know what you are thinking, but I'll explain. Okay. Here, before that, I would like to talk about one predefined DD name. Yesterday, yesterday we have discussed about 3 DD names, 3 inbuilt DD names, right? What are they? Did you remember? Sysprint, sysout, and sysin. These 3, correct?
Hmm.
Okay. Similarly, you have something called steplib. Steplib is a predefined DD name which is used for supplying the load module of the program. That means if you see here, okay, December 23, if you have your run JCL or anything, okay, if you see here, this is the program you are executing, that is disp1, but you have to supply the load lib, the converted Cobol version, that is the load module of the Cobol, this program, right? So how you will supply it is, you have to give the DD name steplib DD DSN equal to the load library name in which you have the load module of that program, and disp equal to share. So if you are giving this load library with any other name, your program won't recognize it as a load library. Okay, so you have to give your load library with the name steplib only. It is called step library. So you have to give your load library with the name steplib only. You cannot use any other DD name. So to supply the load module location, or to supply the load module of a particular program, we have to use the DD name steplib. Understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so steplib, here you will have your load lib. Okay, then something disp equal to share you will have. Now in this program, so let's say, let us consider this is a file program. In this program, you are writing data, some data into the file. So that file is not existing already. So you're creating it here in here only, and you are writing. So now what is your next question? For creating the file, right? For creating the file, we have to use what? What we have to use? What utility?
3.2, sir.
No, that is in ISPF. In JCL, to create a file, what is the utility we are using?
IFBR 14, sir.
IEBGENER 14, right? But here in this step, did we use it anywhere?
No, sir.
So we are just saying file 01, which is a Cobol program, right? So by default, so remember this point very clearly, very carefully. By default, any program, that means inbuilt or Cobol program will have the capability or capacity to create or delete the file. So now, then why we need IEFBR 14? If your task is only either to create or delete a file on alone. That means if suppose, one second. Okay. If suppose, basically each and every program that you are executing in JCL will have the capacity or will have the capability to create or delete the file. That means every other program can do what IEFBR 14 is doing. So the task that IEFBR 14 is doing can be done by any other program also along with their personal works. That means every other program will do their own work plus IEFBR 14 work. So by default, IEFBR 14 work will be done by any program plus their personal works also. If now this file program is writing some data into the file, so it will do that work as well as it can also do what is IEFBR 14 doing. Then when you will use IEFBR 14, if suppose your only task is to create a file, that's it, you don't want to do any other thing, then you have to use IEFBR 14. Okay, you don't have here along with writing the, it is basically you're writing the file, you're writing data into the file. So in that process you need a file to be created. So in that process you are creating the file here because this can also create a file. So if suppose your only expectation or your only task or your only work is to create a file, then you will use PGM equal to IEFBR 14 because IEFBR 14 can do only create or delete a file. Along apart from that, it cannot do anything. So because of that, any other utility or program can do IEFBR 14's work. But IEFBR 14 cannot do any other work, only create or delete. Okay. So that's why we call IEFBR 14 as a dummy utility. So in interview, it will be asked, what is a dummy utility and why? What is the dummy utility?
IEBGENER 14, sir.
IEFBR 14. And why we are calling it as dummy utility is IEFBR 14 can only create or delete a file, which can also be done by any other utility or program. Okay, that's the reason we call it as dummy utility. Okay, so now, this is how you will be basically creating or deleting a file, right? So here, why I'm talking about this? Because along with IEFBR 14, meaning along with creating or deleting this, IEFBR 14 cannot do any other thing. Okay, so now coming to this. Yeah, what is this? So we are thinking about when we will delete the files, right? That is the process we are having. Let's say here, this is your step. Now, let's say you're having one more step. Let's say here you're having one more step. This is your step 2. And let's say here I'm creating some file 2. Let's say I'm having one more step. That is my step 3. So here you're creating some file, step 3. And here I have my job card, job name, and some after that all parameters are there. Okay. So now, for the first time, if I run this job, it will run successfully. It will create file 01, it will create file 02, it will create file 03, and it will also write the data into it, right? Suppose if I'm running for the second time, will this run successfully or will it have any issue? Think Just think and answer. Okay. Because just now we have faced the same issue.
Dummy files, duplicate files, sir.
Duplicate files. So second time it won't run, right? Because it is a duplicate issue. So what we have to do before running for the second time, what we have to do? We will have to before running for the second time, what we have to do? We will have to delete these files first, then we have to run, correct?
Yes, sir.
So in real time, they won't delete manually. So what they will do under the job card, they will have a step called like del01, del01 dd, sorry, exec pgm equal to IEFBR14, dd01 dd dsn equal to this one, comma. Now, did you remember what is the disposition for deleting?
Old delete
delete, right? So old delete, comma, you will have some space. So when you are deleting, you don't have to give much space. Just give track, comma, 1, 1. Just minimum space is required for deleting. Okay. RLSE. So while deleting, you don't really have to give the DCB also because it is already there. You don't have. So unit equal to sysdir you will give. And after that, this is for DD01. Then you can have DD02. This is your file 2. Then you will have your DD03. Then this is your file 3. Then after that, you will have these 3 parameters, sprint or these 3. So now what is happening if you see in the first step of the program, it is deleting all the output files, right? Whichever is getting in the below steps, it is first deleting. Now, when this step is running, it will not fail, right? Will it fail now?
No, sir.
Because it is already deleted here, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this step, this one got deleted here, this one. So now these things will not be failed, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
So now for suppose, so this will work from when onwards, this will work from the second time onwards. But for the first time, let us say I am running this job for the first time. What will happen? So let's see. So if suppose I am having this job, old delete. Let's say I'm giving 14B. So I'm asking to delete a file which is not already there. First time, these files are already not created, right? If I'm running this job for the first time, file 01 is not there, file 02 is not there, file 03 is also not there because this is the first time, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in the first step, what I'm asking, I am asking to delete the files which are not there. From second time onwards, it is fine. From second time onwards, it is fine. But from first time onwards, for the first time, will it work? Let's see whether it will work or not. So old means already existing. You know this, right? So we already know it's. So if I'm giving new here, from second time onwards, it won't work. Only for the first time, this will work. But from second time onwards, it won't work. Right? So suppose if I'm giving old delete for a non-existing file. Let's see, I'm submitting this. It is JCL error. So let's go to spool and see. If you see, it is saying data set not found. So file is not there. How can I delete it? That's what it is saying, correct? So for the first time, this won't work. So next time onwards, these won't work. So what to do now? So if you go back, when I was talking about mod, right? I was telling you a disposition called mod, right? So it will do 2 things. One is to append the data, and other one I've told you it work for the files if they are already existing or the new files. It will work for both the files. That's what we have discussed. So now let's see. Now what I'm saying here, instead of old, I'm giving mod here now. So what this mod will do, if the file is already there, it will delete. If the file is already not there, it won't care. It will just ignore it. If the file is available, it will delete. If the file is not there, it won't check, it won't delete. So now see, max is 0. If I am giving a file which is already existing also, so if I am giving which is already existing also, it is working. If I am giving which is not existing also, it is working. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what mod will do, if the file is already there, it will take the action. If the file is not there, it won't take any action. So now all these things will be basically in real time. We won't use old. We will use mod delete for deleting the files. Remember, so till now you have remembered to delete a file, it is old delete, right? So now you forget that. You completely forget old delete. So what is the disposition for deleting a file? It is mod delete. Okay. So you understood? So now
Yes,
if you
sir.
see, even if it is the first time, so first time these files are not available, but still it won't delete. It will, but it will not fail also, right? It won't even fail also, because if it is not there, it will just ignore this, and here onwards it will write, it will execute. Second time onwards, these files are existing now. If they are present, it will delete. If they are present, it will delete. If they are not present, it won't delete. It won't do anything, right? So this is the process they will follow in your real time for the steps. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So this is about your IFBR 14. The next thing that we are having is IEBGENER. What is the next utility? It is IEBGENER. IEBGENER, what it is doing is, it is used for copying a PS file to another PS file. So what is IFBR 14 doing? It is creating or deleting. Similarly, IEBGENER, it is used for copying a PS file into another PS file. Normally, consider you're having, let's say, okay, this out.rural something is there, or this PDSVP, this is there, not this one. Okay, this out.rural is there, for example, or input one is there. You're having this file. Usually, if you want to copy this file, right? If you want to copy this file into another, let us say input one is there, two is there, three is. If you want to copy that file into input four, what you will do? You will just give CO, that is CO here, copy, enter, and here you have to give the new file name, that is X. So sorry, input four. Close it and then enter. Now it is asking whether you want to use the same attributes as one or you want to specify new attributes. So we'll just choose one and enter. Now it is copied. If you just refresh, so input 4 also created, right, with the same data. If suppose in input 4, so two cases here. Now I am deleting this D99 and save this. So first case is file not already present. Input 4 is not present. Now input 4 is present, but it is empty. Now I would like to copy this data into input 4. So again, I will give CO, and this time it won't ask whether to create or not. It will just copy it, right? Because it is already present. So you can copy in two ways. File may be existing or file may be new also. Two cases will be there. So we will take the same example. I'm deleting this input 4. Okay, sorry. So we will take the same example of copying this input one to any other file. So how you will have to do is repl.zf.zl your IEBGENER. Okay. So here step A program equal to now IEBGENER. So in your IEBGENER, right? So what is IEBGENER doing? It is basically copying one file into another file. So how many files we need in this process?
Two files, sir.
Two files. One file as input, another file as output. So one file we have to use it for copying, another file we have to use it for into which we want to copy. So this is there are two files we need. So in other utilities, right? In other utilities, you will be having user defined DD names. That means, for example, for IEFBR 14, there is no restriction on DD names. Whatever you want, you can give DD01, you can give ABCD01, you can give XYZ01, you can give anything, AAA01, anything. But in case of IEBGENER, you have two predefined DD names, two predefined DD names. What are they? What are the two predefined DD names? One is sysut1. This we have to use as input. And other one we have sysut2. This we have to use as output. So these are the two things we have to use as input. Sysut1, these are the two DD names we have to use. Okay, we should not use any other user defined, or your own DD names should not be used for IEBGENER. For IEBGENER has already two predefined DD names. So what IEBGENER is saying, see, I don't allow if you are giving any other DD name. I have my own DD names because I'm doing one particular process, that is copying one file to other file. So I want it to be given in a specific format. What is that format? Your input has to be given with sysut1. So here only you have to give your input dd dsn equal to this. Since it is already existing file, you will just give disp equal to share. You don't need all other three parameters because it is already existing and we are just using it. We are not deleting, we don't want to do anything. We just want to use it. So as I told you yesterday, if it is just existing and you are using it, you don't have to give y and z parameters. Just x is enough. Okay. Similarly, sysut2 dd dsn equal to, let's say, input 4 comma, is this input 4 already existing? I have deleted this file actually. Did you remember?
Yes, sir.
So how we have to create it? Now you have to tell me what is the disposition for creating the file.
New catalog
New catalog,
delete.
delete. The next thing, what is the next parameter? Okay, cylinder comma. So we will give the same thing, 10 comma 10. Then what parameter we'll have here? It is release. Okay. So remember all these things. You have to practice, then only you will remember these things. Otherwise, you will not be. So I understand when you're not, but that is fine. But if you practice, definitely you will be able to remember. Next thing is DCB. So record format. What is record format? FB. What is logical record length? That is LRECL 80. Let's see what is the record length of that one. Input 1. It's 100. So we should not be giving. So 100, I'm giving 100 only. Comma. What is the block size?
1000.
1000. And DSORG equal to PS. Comma. The next thing you have is unit. Okay. So these four parameters, if you remember, you will be able to write syntax for creating a file. Sysda. Okay. So now you have step 01. This. So let me save it. So I'll show you whether this file, we already know that input 4 is not there here, right? So now I'm submitting this job. So maxis is 0. See, for here creating a file, I did not use IEFBR 14. Did you notice this?
Yes, sir.
So any other utility can do what IEFBR 14 is doing. Okay, even IEBGENER also can do what IEFBR 14 is doing. So refresh. Now you have got this 4. Okay, it is copied. Let's do one thing. So edit. Now delete everything. Save it. So now what I would like to do the second way, if I want to copy into an existing file, now what I have to do, I will just use disp equal to share. And all these things are not required, right? Disposition, space, DCB, these are big. So these things you can delete. These lines you can delete, or you can comment it out like this. These are equal to comment, meaning these are equal to your delete. So now if it is you are asking to copy this input 1 to input 4, which is already existing. Got it?
Yes.
So I hope everybody is understanding. Okay, now I'll submit this. Okay. Save and see again it is copied. So this is about IEBGENER. IEBGENER is nothing. It will just copy data from one file to other file, which is PS. Next thing that we are having is IEBCOPY. What does IEBCOPY will do? IEBCOPY will copy the data from a PDS to another PDS. Understanding? It will copy the data from one PDS to another PDS. So here, but this thing in real time, you will never, means almost 99.99%, you will never use this utility. But just for your knowledge only, if you're not listening this about this also, completely fine. But because a PDS to PDS copy, you will never do it through JCL. You will basically do it like this. So if you want to copy some, suppose some 2 or 3 members from this, what you will do, you will open, you will just select C and enter. Here you will give some new PDS name and it will be copied. So the same way you will follow. Understand? Okay, you won't be using this IEBCOPY to copy a PDS into another PDS. Okay, understood. So let's create another PDS, something like source lib1 in 3.2. Submit ESA dot test dot hash December 23 dot src lib1. So PDS it will be 10 10 10 and here it will be 80 800 and your PDS. It's now cat. Let's see how to use this. So here your IEBCOPY, sorry, programming, sorry. Programming, 1 second, please. Sorry. So IEBCOPY, as we discussed, it is what it is doing. It is copying a PDS into another PDS. So for example, let's say I would like to copy. Let's take which one is having some small. Let's take copylib. How many are there? Only one is there. Okay, let's not take this. Mm, okay, let's take this JCL lib only. We will copy this into another one. So this, so we have created source lib1, right? Instead of source lib1, I will create JCL lib1. Better. So rename it as JCL lib1. Okay, refresh this. So now I want to copy the data from JCL lib to JCL lib 1. So do we have anything in JCL lib 1? Nothing, no members, right? We don't have anything. So now we will copy the data. That means these members should be copied into my JCL lib 1. Okay. So how to do it? You'll be giving IEBCOPY. Here you can give any DD name. That is your, let's say my input, right? So let's give DD in something 01 or DD in simply DD in DSN equal to this, comma disp equal to share. Then here it is my DD out DSN equal to JCL lib 1, comma disp equal to share. These things I don't need, I'm deleting. Here, one from here onwards, actually this sysin DD star, as of now, what you know about this sysin DD star? Why we used in Cobol processing? Why we used in Cobol processing this sysin DD star? Okay,
For
let me
giving
explain.
input, sir.
For giving any input, right? What this sysin DD star will do is basically, if you want to convey some information to the program. So if suppose your accept program is there, or if suppose any display program is there, or if suppose any calculator program is there. So if you want to convey any message to this program or any data to this program, you will be giving under sysin DD star basically. So that means if suppose here your utilities are basically two types. So some utilities can do only single task. Some utilities can do multiple tasks. Some utilities can do single task and some utilities can do multiple tasks. So when you are doing, let us say you, one person is there. Okay. So this particular person, he can read, he can write, what else? He can teach, he can build uh, like some, house, or he can build some any houses or something. Also he can, what else he can do? Something he can paint. So now I'm just saying this person is, let us say his name is Ganesh something. So I'm saying Ganesh, go and do that. So what is the question here we will ask?
What work he
What
do?
because he can do many things, right? What he has to do? Suppose this guy, let's say here I'm considering IFBR 14. So he can only do basically create or delete. If you just say go and do that, based on the disposition, it will create or delete. You don't have to specifically mention what to do. And IEBGENER, what? Go and do that means that main purpose is to copy this to this. So here also you don't have to mention. But there are utilities which can do multiple things. So when you are having multiple things a utility can do, you have to mention what it has to do. So you have to give clear instruction to that utility what to do. So how you will give that is all that information you will be giving under sysin DD star. So sysin DD star, we call it as the control card or in-stream data. This, so if you want to give any kind of information to this program, you will be giving under sysin DD. So from here onwards, for most of the utilities are multitasking utilities only. So for mostly you will be having control cards here. So this one we call it as control. Whatever you are writing here, we call it as control card. That means if you're writing a Cobol program, it is a program. If you're writing a JCL, it is a job. If you're writing something in copy library, it is a copybook. Similarly, if you're writing something under sysin DD star, it is control card. Remember this word. What is that? It is control card. Okay, control card is nothing but it is input to the sysin DD star. Okay, so here you have to say, you have to give one instruction, copy in DD equal to your DD name. What is the input DD name? So comma out DD equal to this. So what you are saying here is, then you will be having slash star. So here what you are saying is you are asking to copy everything from here to here. Then you may ask, what is the other task? That is a single task only, right? No, it is not a thing. It is having some other tasks also. I'll explain you. Okay. But here now it is saying just copying this full thing into this full thing. Understood? Copy in dd equal to this, out dd equal to this. This should not, whatever you are writing under sys in dd star should not be having slashes. Okay, your control card will not be having double slash. Okay, remember this. All other lines will have, but your control cards will not be having double slashes. Okay, let me submit this. So maxis is 0. Now let's check this JCL lib 1. Where is this JCL lib 1? So here, this one. So if you see, everything came to this JCL lib 1, correct?
Yes, sir.
So now I'm deleting everything. So all are deleted. So again, I'm opening no members. Now let me run one, let me add one more thing. So this is the next thing that it can do. So it can copy all members at a time, or it can also copy only selected members. Select member equal to, in your bracket, let us say, for example, so yeah. Okay. For example, I would like to copy Cobol comp, Cob comp D, and the only these two, and let's say this one. These three I want to copy. One is this, then this one. So what I have to do, I'm taking this. So select member equal to this, this, something IEBGENER. So these things so now you see what will happen in this JCL lib 1. Let's see now. Submit. Maxis is 0. Let's see what is happening in JCL lib 1 now. Go back and open JCL lib 1. See how many are copied?
3 copied, sir.
Only the selected members copied, right? Now let's delete everything again. So now we have nothing here. We'll do one more thing. So I will copy this here, and I will just comment this so that in future you can use it. I'm commenting. So when you are using it, you can just copy this line and put it here so that next one more thing I'm having is exclude member equal to. What does it mean? Exclude member means except these
Except those
things,
3.
everything else to be copied. Let's see. So see, except those, everything else came, right? There is no Cobol compiler, there is no Cobol compiler D, there is no IEBGENER. Except that everything else came, right?
Yes, sir.
So these are the things that IEBCOPY can. That's why what task it has to do, you have to clearly mention here. So otherwise, it will be very angry. It will say that, see, I can do so many things because it is capable of doing many things. It will be very proud. Say, I simply if you're saying, okay, run this, I won't run. You have to tell me what I have to do because I can do many things. Just go and specify under sysinddd star what I have to do. So you have to come here and mention, okay, you have to go and do this. Then it will do the same thing. Okay. Understood?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is about your major utilities. We have other important things like sort as one of the most. So it will be covered in the last class because it is most important thing. Then we have something called ID camps also. This will also be covered on the flow. Okay. So tomorrow we will discuss about a concept called GDGs, which means generation data groups. Okay. Tomorrow we'll discuss about these things. Yeah. So any questions? So we have discussed about IFBF 14, IEBGENER and IEBCOPY. These are the major utilities used, and we have sort ID camps, but these things will be covered in the next classes. Any other questions we have?
సార్ మనం ఆల్రెడీ ప్రోగ్రామ్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసి కోబాలో రాస్తాం కదా,
అవును.
మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ న్యూగా ఫైల్స్ ఎందుకు క్రియేట్ చేసాం సార్?
కోబాల్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తుందా ఎప్పుడైనా? ఏ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో అయినా కోబాల్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసిందా?
అంటే ఫైల్స్ అని కాదు, ఇప్పుడు మన ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఆల్రెడీ మనం ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తాం కదా,
అవును.
మళ్ళీ
ప్రోగ్రామ్
దీంట్లో
దేనికి రాస్తున్నాం చెప్పండి? ఏదో ఒక ఫైల్లోకి డేటా రాయడానికో, రైట్? సో మరి ఆ ఫైల్ ఎక్కడ క్రియేట్ అవ్వాలి? ఆ ఫైల్ లేదనుకుందాం ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, లేదా ఆ ఫైల్ ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ డైలీ మీకు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సపోజ్ యు ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ weekly reports are there. You are working for a financial company. Let's say we'll take one simple report. You are working for a Muthoot. So Muthoot is your client. You have to generate weekly reports. So you will get one input file from Muthoot. So what you have to do, you have to generate one output file with the what is the previous week expenditure and this month's income, what is the profit, what is the loss, like that. You have to create one output file. So for that, you have created a program, one Cobol program. You have written everything to read this input file, and your output file will be created inside this. Okay. So last week, this output file is already there. Okay. Now, when you are running it for today, definitely it won't allow, right? You will have to either create in the next new file, or you will have to delete that old file and create it. Right?
ఓకే.
Cobol can do the logic only. It cannot create any files. So Cobol is there for performing any programming functionality. If you are giving lakhs of data also, Cobol can process it with whatever you are telling, but it needs the data in files. Cobol needs some input, right? So if you are
Yes, sir.
simply writing a program, we have discussed, we have a urban file, rural file, and we have separated that into urban, rural. But where you are giving files as the input to Cobol, and you are saying you want it to write into this file, this file, this file. You have given one input file, 3 output files, then only Cobol is able to do anything. Cobol by itself, it cannot create any file, it cannot delete any file, it cannot do any file. It can read your file, it can write the data into your file. If you are giving all facilities to Cobol, if you're saying, okay, data is there, please use this Cobol. If you say, Cobol, please use this, it will use. And if the file is there, if you open that file in output mode and say, please Cobol, write the data into this file, it will write. But it cannot create any file, it cannot delete any file. Who will do that? All things should be taken care by JCL. So JCL will do all these things and it will give to Cobol, so that Cobol will use those files.
Okay.
Understood?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So Cobol is only your business functionality, how to run it. If suppose like it will just validate the data. If suppose I am having some policy holders information is there. If suppose you're having male and female. So what Cobol will do, it will read this data. If it is male, it may do some action. If it is female, it may do some other action. So based on this data, so Cobol is basically performing, it is doing the logic, or it is making the functionality. If male, you have to go and do this. For this person, you have to add 1500. For this person, you have to add 2000. For this person, you have to give 500 discount. For this person, you have to do the, so that logic it is building, but it is not creating the file. Okay. I hope you understood, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So any other questions? Okay, okay then. Thank you. Tomorrow we'll connect. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.